Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Jade. Oh boy, we're back. So a couple things happened over the last few days. I started basically building a Ruby tabletop campaign to play with the guy who writes A Universe Apart on Wattpad. His username is Calculative Cadaver. And it's really coming along, I think. But that sort of got pushed back because he lost data and he doesn't have another way to get on the internet. And so, I have some time to record. And I can probably write some now that I think about it. But, without further ado, let's get right into it. The buzz of my alarm pulls me out of dream world and into reality. With a sleepy roll, I slap blindly at the sound. Just 5 more minutes. Alarms don't buzz, buddy. That's your phone. The buzzing doesn't cease no matter how hard I slap my clock. I blink my bleary eyes as 10:17 a.m. blinks back at me. Crap! I shoot straight up in bed. I'm late for class. I push the off button on my clock, but it doesn't stop the buzzing. Wait, my alarm doesn't buzz. Glancing over at my desk, my phone buzzes loudly on the wood. It's Valerie. She probably is wondering why I wasn't in class this morning. I hope she's calling to bring me notes. Hey Valerie, sorry I missed you in class today.
Class?
She sounds amused. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but my alarm didn't go off.
Probably because you didn't set it.
What?
It's reading week. We don't have classes, silly.
That explains a lot. If we don't have class, then why are you calling me?
Because unlike somebody, I've been hard at work and found something interesting about Eagle's core.
Really? What is it?
It's the secret to Eagle's maximum overdrive.
Wait, seriously? What does it say?
It says, come to the hangar right now.
No, it doesn't.
Only one way to find out. See you in a few.
She doesn't wait for me to respond before the line goes dead. Valerie? She's lucky my curiosity is stronger than my irritation. I get dressed and ready for the day. Just as I'm about to head out the door, my phone beeps. I pull up my phone expecting another text from Valerie. Instead, I see an old alert. Call Mom today. Mom. My chest tightens as if a hand is holding my heart. Today was her birthday. Last year I was so busy at CINY that I completely forgot about Mom's birthday. I didn't give her a call until the next day, and even though she understood, I could tell she was disappointed. I created this alert right afterwards so I'd never forget again. How could I have known that would be her last birthday? A spark of anger heats my blood. If Mom and Dad really were the target of foul play, somebody is going to pay for ripping them away from me. And from Nikki. My phone beeps again. I open up a message from Valerie telling me to hurry up. Mom and Dad, I need to find out what's going on with Eagle. Maybe that'll give me a hint as to what happened to Mom and Dad. I take a deep breath, then hop on my bike and hurry to school. When I arrive at the hangar, I head straight for Eagle. Valerie stares intently at the terminal, biting her lip in concentration. She glances at me as I approach and smiles.
I almost thought you weren't going to show up.
Here I am. She points to the terminal, fidgeting with excitement.
It took some time, but I finally figured it out.
You were able to reverse engineer the overdrive mode? Valerie nods. That's incredible! She grins proudly at my enthusiasm.
It took a little longer than I expected since the missing pieces were really hard to fill in. The full schematics are unlike anything I've seen before. I wasn't even able to find anything remotely similar while researching.
Her brows furrow in thought. Then she shakes her head and her excited grin returns.
Anyway, I've tested the data in the simulator, and it worked flawlessly. Your core is calibrated to be able to use the overdrive mode on demand.
That's awesome!
I haven't had a chance to try it in actuality, though. As much as I'd love to hop in your cockpit, I'm not much of a pilot. So, I leave the test piloting to you.
I nod. Of course, you're amazing, Valerie. Her smile broadens.
Oh, I almost forgot.
She returns to the terminal. As her fingers dance over the keyboard, another screen opens up. It's packed tightly with a lot of information, and the bottom has an open section to input a password.
I couldn't figure this out, and it looks like any sort of tampering will potentially wipe the data. What's weird about it is that all those lines are not really code that needs to be deciphered. They read more like references I don't understand. Since you build Eagle, I wondered if this might mean something to you.
I glance at the screen. It does read like a whole bunch of inside jokes meshed together. Some pieces seem familiar, but strewn together like that throws me off. I'm sure if I had time to sit down and concentrate, I could work through this, but right now, I'd rather focus on the overdrive mode. Do you have all the data you need for the overdrive mode?
Yeah, which is why I almost forgot about this. I'm not sure what's hiding behind here.
No rush, then. She smiles.
No rush. I do think we should book off some practice time in the arena and confirm the overdrive mode works, though. I mean, theory is still theory.
I nod. I was thinking the same thing. Let's tell the team about this and see if we can get a practice session before the match. I shoot off an urgent group text. As I wait for everyone to show up, I pull up the arena schedule on my phone. Is there any chance it won't be fully booked because it's reading week? To my surprise, the arena is completely open tomorrow. Talk about good luck. Kaori is the first to arrive.
This better be important. Exams are next week, you know.
Trust me, you'll want to hear this. Kaori taps her foot impatiently.
Where is everybody else?
They're coming. A few minutes later, Sho and Mayu trickle in with Yuuna tagging along.
Sorry if we're late.
Look who we found trying to break into the hangar.
Yuuna's cheeks flush.
I wasn't trying to break in. I was just about to text that I needed someone to let me in.
Sho grins.
Sure, that explains why you were pulling on the doors.
I was just testing to see if maybe they were unlocked.
Wait, Yuuna, how did you get on campus so fast?
I was studying in the library when I got your text.
Speaking
okay.
of which, can you finally tell us what's going on so we can all get back to studying?
I glance over at Valerie, who nods. Valerie found out how to activate Eagle's overdrive mode on demand.
Are you serious?
Sho's voice rings out above the team's collective exclamations of surprise. Valerie nods.
Yup. Sorry it took so long.
The fact that you managed to figure it out at all is really impressive.
Yeah, I don't think just anyone would have been able to.
Maybe.
Valerie answers modestly, but there's a slight blush of color in her cheeks.
So what exactly do you mean by overdrive mode can be activated on demand?
Well, initially the programming was set to a single-run instance because it was in debug mode. I found a way to change the options of activation. That being said, it's calibrated and tested in simulation, but...
Valerie looks at me. We want to reserve the arena so we can live test it. Kaori nods.
That makes sense. We definitely want to get a handle of it before our next match on Thursday.
Why exactly do we have a match scheduled during a reading week? Everyone stares blankly at me.
Why wouldn't we?
At CINY, everything was canceled during reading week. Classes, clubs, everything. They really wanted us to focus on studying.
That must have been torture.
I don't think it's a terrible idea. That just means there are fewer distractions from studying.
I know, torture.
It was nice that classes were canceled, but I suppose canceling all clubs and activities was a bit much. Sho nods.
Focus, guys!
Sorry.
Right. Yuuna seems thoughtful.
Since your match is on Thursday, that doesn't give you much time to practice. Isn't the arena already booked up this week?
Actually, it's completely open tomorrow. I was thinking we could head over around...
No! Are you crazy? We can't do that!
I blink at Sho's outburst. Valerie looks just as confused as I am, but the rest of the team wears matching looks of horror. God, I love this part.
What is up with those faces? You guys look like you've seen a ghost.
I mean, you're not too far off. The arena is haunted.
Haunted. Valerie burst out laughing, and I let out a few chuckles. What are you talking about? We've used the arena plenty of times, and we've been fine.
It's not always haunted, only tomorrow.
It's not haunted, you idiot.
I can always count on Kaori to be reasonable.
It's cursed.
Never mind. What?
How is it cursed?
It's the curse of Yori and Nori.
What? You too, Yuuna?
Broseph, Yori and Nori are no joke. Haven't you heard the legend?
What? No.
What legend?
Show takes on a serious tone.
Many years ago, there was a set of twin brothers, Yori and Nori, who attended ACE.
And they were both top pilots here.
They were fiercely competitive in the arena, and their matches were thrilling to watch. Yori was the older twin by a few seconds, and no matter how often they battled, he always took first rank. Nori hated being outmatched and overshadowed by his brother and trained harder than any other pilot at school. At the end of the season, the twins' highly anticipated match was just as exciting as ever, especially when Nori took the title of first rank from his brother.
I guess Nori's training finally paid off. Valerie raises an eyebrow.
Seriously? This is so cliché.
Sho gives her a look, but otherwise ignores her.
It was all anyone could talk about, but Yori was furious. He didn't think it was possible that his brother could surpass him. He accused his brother of cheating and continued to pester Nori until Nori couldn't take it anymore. They agreed to one final match, no holds barred, which would prove who was the better pilot once and for all. Obviously, the school would never allow no holds barred matches, so they set up a time after hours to meet in the arena.
Boring.
Just wait!
When they met in the ring, they readied their weapons like usual. Charging their laser guns, they waited for the signal. As soon as it sounded, they simultaneously unleashed their shot, which collided in a huge explosion.
That's not how explosions happen.
Trust me, it happened. I don't know how it did, but it did.
Mayu and Yuuna nod along with Sho.
After the smoke cleared, standing in the middle of the arena were the twins' two gears.
Okay.
That's not the weird part. The weird part is that there was no trace of the brothers. Both the cockpits were completely empty.
And you believed this when someone told it to you. Mayu shudders.
There weren't even ashes or anything.
Wait, let's go back a second to this explosion. How did the gears even survive that?
That's part of the mystery. They say that the brothers' spirits are trying to finish the battle to see who is the better pilot, and any pilot who dares get between them will suffer the consequences.
Valerie cocks her head to the side.
You guys really believe this stuff?
It's real. Ever since then, anyone who's used their gear on the anniversary of the brothers' battle has ended up with serious injuries.
Yeah, there was this kid whose gear malfunctioned and started moving on its own.
And the girl whose gear got stuck after it depowered, so she was trapped inside. They had to remove the whole front of her cockpit to get her out.
Those are just the reported ones. A lot of times what happens in the arena stays in the arena.
Valerie looks at me.
What do you think?
I think this is a load of bullcrap. I don't believe in ghosts or curses.
Then how do you explain all the bad things that have happened on that day?
Coincidence and people intentionally doing this shit to screw with you guys, who seem to be easy to believe this stuff.
The point is, we cannot be anywhere near our gears tomorrow. In fact, we should get out of Ace Academy altogether and go somewhere fun.
Valerie's dismissiveness shifts to intrigue.
Ooh, I like fun.
Everyone likes fun. What were you thinking? A sly grin spreads across Sho's face as he whips out a handful of tickets.
The hot springs, of course.
How long have you been carrying those?
You don't want to know.
I raise an eyebrow. I can't actually raise an eyebrow. I raise two eyebrows and cock my head to the side so it looks like I'm only raising one.
Let's just say I've got these ready for next year, too.
That sounds like a whole lot of fan service.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Valerie squeals and starts playing with her hair.
I can't wait to go. The water's going to feel so good.
I could use a break from studying.
You should come, Yuuna.
Yuuna smiles.
Okay, you've convinced me.
Wasn't very hard.
Wow, that was easier than I thought.
What about you, Kaori?
Kaori frowns.
We don't have time for this. Don't you all have exams to study for?
We've got the whole week to study. Besides, even Mayu's going.
Mayu looks away as Kaori's gaze lands on her.
Are you going too?
Yeah. I'll study better once I've had a short break.
You should go too, Kaori. It wouldn't be nearly as fun without you there. Kaori's cheeks turn pink.
Oh, does that mean you're going too?
Only if you are. Her face reddens even more.
I guess I can go. But we can't stay longer than a day.
Of course not. We'll be back the following morning.
Works for me.
We better be, or I'm coming back without you.
Sho throws his arms around us.
Yes, the gang's all going.
Since my day tomorrow is pretty much shot, I need to get as much studying done now as I can. I'll see you guys later.
Kaori hurries out. I actually should go get some studying done too.
Me too.
Same here.
It's time for me to hit the books too.
Everyone pauses to stare at her.
What?
You study?
Of course. How else do you think I get straight A's?
You have straight A's?
You've straight A's?
Valerie laughs.
Don't sound so surprised.
Aw, if everyone else is going to study, then what am I supposed to do?
Study. Sho sighs.
I guess.
Yeah, I feel you, Sho. I always hated studying. I can't even study in my own house it'll only take like an hour before I'm doing something else.
We can study together.
Sho perks up.
Suddenly studying sounds like a great idea.
Mayu smiles shyly. Sho takes her hand as the two of them wave before walking away. Alright, well, I'm out. See you guys later. Everyone says their goodbyes and heads their separate ways. I find a quiet spot in the library and spend a few hours studying. Once the words start to blur on the page, I decide to take a break. I wonder if anyone else is ready for a break too. Mayu or Yuuna? I'm pretty sure I know what happens if I pick Mayu, so let's go with Yuuna. I wonder if Yuuna's still trying out different clubs. The last couple of times I went with her, it was pretty fun. Let's see what she's up to. I dial Yuuna's number. She seems out of breath when she answers.
Hello?
Hey Yuuna, checking out any new clubs today? She chuckles.
Nope, I've decided on what I want to do.
Oh, really? What did you choose?
Tennis.
I grin. I had a feeling she'd come back to that. Is that what you're doing now?
Actually, I decided to participate in the Tennis Open League today.
Does that mean you're going to try out for the school league next year?
Maybe. I'm not sure yet. It's still a huge time commitment, but I can always drop in on club matches. Want to come watch?
I recall how Yuuna schooled me in tennis the last time we played. There's no chance this will be a boring event. Sure, I'll meet you at the courts.
Okay, see you soon.
We hang up the phone and I make my way to the rec center. The event has a strong turnout, and while the spectator space is not as large as our other venues, more than half of the seats are filled. I scan the crowd of students lining the tennis courts in search of Yuuna. She's off on her own, leaning into a runner's stretch. Hey, Yuuna. Her face lights up when she sees me.
You're here. Thanks for coming.
Wouldn't miss it for the world. I wasn't going to miss out on another chance to watch you wipe the floor with your opponents. She laughs.
It won't be so easy this time. I recognize some of the students from the Ace Tennis League. There's a good chance I'll have to play against them.
I take another look at the students holding tennis rackets. Most of them keep to themselves. They wear solemn faces and quietly stretch. A small group of students are gathered in a circle. Those must be the League members. I don't think I know who any of them are. Yuuna pauses and points out the ones she recognizes.
That girl with short hair is also a second year, and a pretty strong player on the team. She's actually from my hometown. We trained together in high school.
The girl is one of the only students with a smile on her face. She rolls her wrist and lets her racket hang loosely by her side.
The guy to her left is a first year. He just made it onto the team, so he's still in training.
As Yuuna gives me the stats on her opponents, her demeanor changes, her posture relaxes, and her eyes glance alertly around the court. She'd fit right in with the rest of us in the pre-combat room if she were a pilot.
And that small guy beside them is actually their star player.
Really? I glance skeptically at him. He looks like a high schooler who's still waiting to go through puberty.
Yeah, he's a third year and captain of the tennis team. In fact, she
Yuuna points again to the first girl.
will probably take his place as captain next year. He's also left-handed.
And that means...
I should have worked harder on my backhand.
So it sounds like those few are the only real challenge here.
That's only as far as I know. There may be some hidden diamonds nobody knows about.
Yeah, regardless, as long as you stay focused on the game, you'll be fine.
Thanks, Coach.
She sticks her tongue out at me. Spectators are being ushered to their seats as the organizers announce the first matchup. I better go so I can claim a good seat. Yuuna nods. The first few rounds are between students I don't know. I half-heartedly watch the matches as they all kind of bleed together. Finally, Yuuna's first match is up. I sit up in my seat and I wave as she walks onto the court. She smiles in acknowledgement. Her opponent is a random student I don't recognize. I settle back into my seat. This will probably be a quick match. As I predicted, Yuuna demolishes the poor guy. Soon, the second round of matches begins, and Yuuna is pit against the first-year Team League player. He scowls at Yuuna, but she seems undisturbed. In the end, Yuuna demolished him too. She stomps off the stage as I cheer along with the... He stomps off the stage as I cheer along with the rest of the crowd for Yuuna. When she's matched up with the girl from the tennis team, the two of them nod in respect for each other. Yuuna grips her racket tightly. A look of concentration replaces the smile on her opponent's face. They're more evenly matched, I assume because they're used to each other's styles and know each other's strengths and weaknesses. Although Yuuna claims to be out of practice, she still comes out victorious with a 2-point lead. Finally, the two remaining contenders are Yuuna and the third-year captain of the Ace Tennis League. Even from my seats, Yuuna seems to tower over him, but he is unfazed. They ready their rackets as Yuuna gives the first serve. Just like when I played against her, her racket connects with the ball in a resounding crack. It speeds across the net in a blur, but her opponent seems to be waiting for the ball and easily returns her serve. They continue to volley the ball back and forth. I lean forward in my seat, holding my breath. He strikes towards Yuuna's left and her backhand misses. The audience lets out a collective gasp. Their match is the most engaging as the two of them dart across the court. They are tied and the last point wins the match. Ultimately, Yuuna misses another backhand strike and her opponent is named the victor. I race down to the courts. Yuuna and the captain are speaking, and as I approach, I catch the tail end of their conversation.
Did you try out for the league this year?
Yuuna shakes her head.
No, I was focused on my studies and was worried the league might be too much of a time commitment.
No wonder I haven't seen you play before. I'll admit I was really impressed by your skills. You should try out for the league next year. I'm positive you'll make it onto the team.
Yuuna smiles politely.
Thank you for the offer. I'll definitely keep that in mind.
I hope you do.
He glances my way, then politely excuses himself. Hey, Yuuna. She whirls around to face me.
Oh, hey.
You were great out there.
Thanks, but I didn't win.
No, but you and the freaking captain of the tennis league were neck and neck for the majority of the match.
I know.
I thought she would finally realize just how impressive that was and crack a smile, but she frowns instead.
If only I'd practiced my backhand. I know I could have beaten him in his smug face.
Oh, wow. I knew Yuuna was competitive, but I had no idea she was this competitive. I didn't know you had it in you.
Had what?
Salty Yuuna. I was literally about to say the ability to be salty.
I'm not salty.
You're so salty, you're giving me high blood pressure. Yuuna raises an eyebrow.
How long did it take you to think that up?
Too long.
Well, it looks like everyone is leaving.
Yeah, we should probably get up take off too.
I'm going to go to the lockers and shower. Thanks for coming out again.
This was fun. She smiles.
I'll see you later.
I say my goodbyes and we head our separate ways. My phone vibrates in my pocket. When I go to answer, I see Sho is calling me. Hey, Sho.
Broseph, I'm so glad you picked up. I need your help.
I think we'll help Sho next episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Have a good day.